Good old Max Keiser. MaxKeiser.com is our guest. We're going back to him in just a moment. I have some big breaking news. And it's not just that H.R. 1207 to audit the private criminal Federal Reserve. That is the shadow government. That is the problem. I mean, if they get 22 more sponsors, they can pass it. I mean, this is a done deal if we just believe and get behind it. And so there's some breaking news. The Federal Reserve is striking back. We'll break this news. This just came out in the last few minutes. I want to get Kurt Nimmo or Steve Watson or both to do a Friday report on this, because this is, the good news is we blew up the Death Star. We're very close to it. The bad news is the empire striking back. So we'll get Max Keiser's take on this breaking news in one moment. I do want to tell you about some of our sponsors that have made today's show possible. One of them is eFoodsDirect.com. This is the place to get storable foods. And in this crazy, depression-ridden, insane world, I believe in storable foods. I bought a lot of storable foods over the years as a hedge against stage terror, World War III, and depression. And I didn't like a lot of it. I got it had MSG or fillers. Not this stuff. Super high quality, non-GMO, non-hybrid. eFoodsDirect.com. They've got 3-day supplies, month supplies, year supplies, 5-year supplies. It lasts more than 10 years in climate control, 10 years in your garage or attic. That's where I got mine. 1-800-409-5633. 1-800-409-5633 or eFoodsDirect.com. Don't procrastinate. Don't suck your thumb. Don't wait. Get prepared today. And on the same line of getting prepared, ladies and gentlemen, AcolaBlue.com is the premier atmospheric water generator. Grabs the moisture right out of the air, 7.5 gallons a day with their smaller unit. Very affordable. Then passes it through 7 filters, including carbon and reverse osmosis, neutral pH, no pollutants or toxins. Absolutely the best water you've ever had. Literally, drink it. 800-691-6043, 800-691-6043, or AcolaBlue.com. How do you spell that? ECOLO Blue.com. AcolaBlue.com, or banners up on Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. Okay, here is the breaking news, and we'll get Max Keiser's take on this. This just came out in the last 30 minutes. Earlier today, it came out there's 190 co-sponsors to audit the private Fed. People go, abolish it first. Ron Paul's a traitor. Ron Paul has a bill to abolish the private Federal Reserve. But he figured out a few years ago the best way to do it is to demand an audit, which everybody wants to know. The public, Congress always asks Bernanke, where's the money? He laughs at him and says, I'm above the law. Greenspan goes on Lair NewsHour and says it. It's in the Obama deception, saying they're above the law. So this is something that has a chance to pass. See, if we can get the door open off the castle, we can go in and throw the bums out. But we got to blow the door off the hinges first. That's what this is. Okay, so this is reality. We're moving forward. We're having a shot at this, at winning. But what does the Federal Reserve do? Well, I want to tell you. The Fed has sent out tens of thousands of bureaucrats. They are paying school teachers and professors from every major university I know of. Right here in Texas, I see it in the news. They pay the universities grants and pay thousands of dollars a year to bring the professors in to pay them to go out and teach the Federal Reserve's good, the bailout's good, the banker takeover is good, because they're engaged in a coup through Northcom, but not just of the U.S., of the world. They admit it's a new bank of the world run by them. We pay carbon taxes to. So Fed intends to hire lobbyists and campaign to buttress its image. Not only do they have these armies of lobbyists they're paying on the grassroots, they now are saying in Bloomberg, they're going to lobby to fix their image in Congress. Bull. You read deeper, it's to lobby against being audited in H.R. 1207. They've never been audited. They have a fake audit where they audit the chairs and pencils, but not where the money goes. And Obama promised every dime of the bailout and every dime of the stimulus would be accounted for. Now it's a state secret. So the people that ran Bush run Obama. Max Keiser. Federal Reserve intends to hire a veteran lobbyist and seeks to counter skepticism in Congress about the central bank's growing power over the U.S. financial system. Now, they tried the mind trick of saying we're above the law, Mount Olympus in the clouds, you mere mortals are down there. Now Congress is becoming contemptuous of the godlike criminal bankers. Now their facade of infallibility and Zeusness is evaporating, and they're now dispatching hordes of minions everywhere. I think we got a chance to literally arrest these bastards. Max Keiser, what say ye?
Well, the thing is, if you audit the Fed, it's the same thing as abolishing the Fed, because there's nothing in the Fed. The Fed has swapped all of their treasury paper for all this worthless, toxic assets that we've been talking about that they are trying to, quote, mark to market and give a fictional value to. But if you actually do a Ron Paul-style audit and apply real value, you will find that the value is zero. So by auditing the Fed, it's the same thing as abolishing the Fed, because the Fed has nothing. Now, I'll tell you something that is very interesting, Alex Jones. The Fed, of course, and the Treasury are the purveyors of U.S. Treasury bonds. It is a well-known fact within the banking circles that for many years, the big banks on the street, Goldman Sachs, J.P. Morgan, have sold Treasury bonds, that they had no authority to do so, that they have in fact counterfeited those bonds or sold naked short selling of Treasury bonds that do not actually exist. If you're going to audit the Fed, that means you're going to have to audit the New York Fed, where Geithner was before he joined the Treasury Department.
Yeah, that's the head of the snake for those that don't know.
And if you're going to do that, then you've got to also pursue this all the way to the fact, and, I don't want to, blow your head off or anything, but all the records for the SEC to account for all these naked short selling
Building 7?
Bonds. That's right.
I'm afraid they were blown up. Oh.
That's where it all goes. That's where the SEC, all those records were in that depository. And, as I've always said since 9/12, that the Twin Towers were merely a cover for the true target that day were those SEC records that were held in Building 7. Now, something else that's interesting.
Well, let me stop you. I've noticed the elites pathologically love to do things that help them on win. Insurance fraud, be able to invade countries, police state. But you're absolutely right. So, but what I'm saying is people will find out it's only a front for the private Federal Reserve owner banks and families and all the scams. Exactly. If you're able to ever audit them, and even trying to audit them and them fighting and covering up and acting suspicious, Ron Paul said on the show he knows his life is in danger doing this. And then meanwhile, our whining, pathetic patriot movement whines and bitches that he isn't doing enough. I mean, it's just mental illness. But sorry, Max, go ahead.
Well, it's like the old Woody Allen joke. He says, Doc, my brother thinks he's a chicken. What do you think we should do about it? And he said, well, take these drugs and he'll stop thinking he's a chicken. But he says, but Doc, we need the eggs. So the lies are critical to the illusionary thinking. Now, here's something else about the New York Fed. The New York Fed is also where Germany keeps all of its gold. And Germany, if you saw it, very interesting with Brian Williams, I guess his name is, he was interviewing Obama in the White House, and during the meeting, Larry Summers got very excited and came in and said, what about the German thing? There's the German problem. And people were asking, what's going on with Germany?
Yeah, Merkel is saying, we're tired of your crap. Go ahead.
Well, Germany is demanding that the U.S. sends them back their gold. They've got 3,000 tons of gold. They've got the second or third biggest gold bullion reserve in the world. It's held in New York, in the New York Fed. They want it shipped back, like France had their gold shipped back in the 70s. When Nixon closed the gold window, as part of the Nixon attempt to pay off the Vietnam War by printing up a lot of phony money.
So it appears the Ponzi scheme is teetering on the end of a pin here.
That's what Germany is sensing, and they want their gold bullion back. And if that's so, then it's less of a reserve that you can count in your accounting model. So that's why I say, going forward, you're going to have more accounting fraud, more accounting tricks. If you look at this story from Bloomberg today, creators of financial products have been running ahead of the law for many years. Okay, and they're talking about that financial products are being relied on more and more to try to